Hi and welcome to another episode of Andy Robinson RC, and today on the channel we're going to do another video related to the first, well, not the first one I did, but the first episode I did relating to mental health, depression and the hobby. Now, after our first video that we did regarding this topic that I've posted up now, I think it was on the weekend anyway, it was a Saturday, I think, Friday or Saturday, and I had, well, what I considering we're such a small YouTube channel, we had I had an overwhelming response to that video. I think we're well over 1,000 likes already. I think we're near 1,100 on the various Facebook RC community groups that I posted the video on. I've had a superb reaction to it. Many people commenting, saying it was good to see that a video like that had been done, and people saying that they experience or have experienced, if they're not already going through stuff that's similar to what I was talking about. So fantastic response, and thank you to all the groups on Facebook for letting me post the videos on there. And also, which I think is cool, on the Tamiya Legends Facebook group, I'd gone back on earlier today just to have a look at some of the comments, and Glenn and the admin team, Tony as well, I was going to say, because he directly commented to my post as well, said that they're now leaving in the announcements parts of the group page contacts for mental health, links for mental health support. So that is fantastic. So even just by making that happen, or encouraging other people to help raise awareness and do something like that, that is absolutely brilliant. And it'd be great as well if we could see some of the other RC community Facebook pages doing the same thing as well, because it's plenty evident to me after reading the responses and what other people had put in comments either on the YouTube channel or all the Facebook groups, that there's a lot of people that have or have gone through similar problems to what I have. And of course I know, obviously, I'm not the only one out there. It affects so many people, and even, where I say I have chronic depression, where it's affected me for a good portion of times, it might only affect, depression might only affect someone for a year or a couple of months, or again it could be much longer, and if videos like this can help and we can all show a bit of support for everyone, that'd be great. So I do want to say massive thank you for everyone who watched the video, took time out of the day to watch it, commented and all that. I really do appreciate it. Now, I wanted to sort of follow up that video and do some more videos relating to the hobby and the mental health side of things. And so today's video is relating to this here, my Tamiya Superstorm Dragon that came out earlier this year. Now, I won't go into massive details. Bought this kit to race at my local clubs, or the club that I run, Blackpool and Fire Radio Control Guard Club, in the Grasshopper and Hornet class that we're running, or B-Maxwell class. Now, it's had a few races, but we stopped through coronavirus, and yeah, it's been great. Now, the reason I'm going to talk about this is because, again, a few weeks back, I bought a car basically to sell on. It didn't have anything particularly I wanted, but it was a good price and I bought it so I could sell it on. Now, it came with a tub, or a tin I should say, of Tamiya smoked paint for doing the windows on the body shell. And I thought, oh, brilliant, because I wanted to put some tinted windows on the Super Dragon body. So I was dead excited about that because it looks great. Or in theory, it looks good. Now, from where the camera is at the moment, this might not look too bad. But I was so eager to get it done. This is probably my downfall in it. I did make an absolute howler of a mess with this, and I was gutted. Absolutely gutted. Now, the body shell in the kit, it comes pre-painted. So it's all painted up in white already. Which to a degree is a shame. But, you know, if you don't like painting body shells, it's all done ready. And then all I had to do was apply the decals, which I did. And, yeah, I made what I consider a decent enough job of doing that. But anyway, as I got this spray paint to do the rest of for the tinting, I'm going to come up to the camera and show you what it went horribly wrong. And the body shell weighs a ton now as a result of this. Now, I got so eager to do it. There you go, look at the state of that. It's a bit of a mess, that, isn't it? You know, you can see that there. It's so thick and heavy. I mean, as a result as well, I've got overspray on the sides here. It all ran in the white and bled, as you can see there. And you can try to cover it up with the decals to a certain extent. But yeah, absolutely livid. I did that to my shell. Now, as I said, I was so excited to do it. I was in the garage that night, and you know, I masked off the body shell. You know, well, I started off by masking off the body shell to try and limit getting any paint on the sides. Took it in the garage, and I think basically, what had happened is I should have heated the paint up slightly because it was cold, and I didn't probably either heat it up enough or I didn't heat it at all. I can't actually remember, but I made one of those two mistakes anyway. And I started to spray it on, and you do it in very light, gentle coats. And what happened is I got it dribbled out onto the windscreen, and it left a bit of a blobby mess. And so, no, my heart sort of sank. And he's like, oh no, I don't want to screw this up. But by that point, everything had already gone wrong. And in my frustration, I was there trying to correct it, and I just kept on putting more paint on, which of course you need to let the layers dry between each one. And I don't know what my brain was doing at the time, but it wasn't letting me. And anyway, I just kept on going in and spraying it up, and until, you know, all the paint started going gloopy and running everywhere. I tried to wipe some of it off on the inside, and that then made the white paint run, and it just turned into a right horrible mess. And I was absolutely livid that I'd knackered up my body shell. I mean, I don't think you'll see it through there, but if I hold that up to the light, it's so patchy and horrid, and absolutely gutted. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to get a new body shell now for this, because I'm frankly embarrassed now that I made such a mess. And so that was what happened to the shell. Now, you know, I'll just show you this quickly as well before I carry on. You know, these are 2 cars here. I've sprayed these up myself. Alright, they're only like 1 can specials, but, you know, I can spray a body shell without it going horridly wrong. You know, so why did it go so wrong? Well, I think part of it, there you go, show you that one there, as you can see it in the light, you know, nothing wrong with that, sprayed up fine. Now, part of it was my own impatience. So it was a cross between my own impatience, wanting to do something productive, and, you know, but by the time I'd realised that I'd made a complete mess of it, that was it. That I'd passed the point of no return, I couldn't correct anything, and then I'd made a mess of the shell. There was nothing that I could do but let it dry, and then once it dried, I had to try and sort of find a way of covering my mistake. Now, as I said, from a few feet it looks okay, and I'm sure as I'm going to still be racing it. It'll be alright going around the racetrack, you know, and I won't be bothered if the shell got damaged now. But for days after, I was tearing my hair out. I was so stressed and utterly miserable that I'd knackered my body shell up. And, you know, there was one of those moments there where I just wanted to, this was the type of moment I was having where I just wanted to throw in the towel and not bother anymore. And I find, why am I doing this? It's stressing me out too much. Why should I bother? And then you just find out with sort of like I find with depression and mental health, it can quickly spiral out of control. So having that one thing there that went wrong, it was then turning into, I'm not good enough. Why do I bother doing this? You know, and it's just, and then the thoughts completely, you know, they go to hell really. You know, you're thinking, oh well, I'm better, can't do anything right. I'm better off dead. Honestly, there's some of the things that go through my head when things like this happen. You know, and it sounds silly when you say it. As I said before, when you're rationally talking about it, it sounds ridiculous. Now, it took me a few weeks to get over that, which sounds crazy, but it did. I mean, now I know that it isn't the end of the world, and alright, I'm going to have to dig into my wallet at some point, try and find a new shell to replace this one, because I don't think I can live with that. It'll do my head in too much. But, you know, these things happen. I mean, just a lot of the time, especially over the last month or two, I've really, you know, struggled when something's gone wrong. Like, there was at one point we were trying to get the club viable to run through some of the lockdown conditions that were implemented, and I was making sure that the club was BRCA affiliated and things like that. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because it was stuff to do with the club, and I had to talk to various people to sort it out. And just because we couldn't get it done in time, or the lockdown rules were changing, and ultimately it meant we still couldn't really run the club, or it wasn't viable to do it, or you know, it wouldn't have been ideal, because generally our club's run in a village hall, so it was to do with things like that, the space, the amount of space we had, could we you know, socially distance ourselves enough. There was various things. Now, we have ran it before, and due to some of the time when we were before the tier system came in, and you could have I think up to 30 people in there running, and we managed to run it. But since the tiers section came into effect and various other things, and the fact that up to that point we weren't BRCA affiliated, it was decided that we needed to sort it all out before we could continue running the club during COVID-19. And anyway, by the time we sort of got BRCA affiliated and all that, then the where I live in Blackpool had gone into tier 3, so you know, it pretty much said no, especially for indoor activities. So yeah, it's canned at the minute. All racing's pretty much, you know, been knocked on the head for now. So it's just a case of enjoying the hobby outside. But yeah, so excuse me, I just wanted to do a quick video-ish. Say quick, it's probably run on again, but just to, you know, highlight that you know, doing something simple as making a mistake, how much it can affect your train of thought and you know, your reaction to things. That really, when you're not in that place, you'd be able to cope with it so much better. Now, I said now it's taken me a few weeks and I've dealt with it and I'm all right with it. But at the time, it felt like the end of the world, which was stupid. Really, I say it's stupid. it feels stupid when you sort of talk about it now, but at the time, it felt horrific. So, right. Anyway, I'm not going to waffle on anymore. I do plan to do some more videos sort of relating to RC and mental health and how I cope, or how things are when doing the hobby. And I just thought that would be a good one to highlight things again. So anyway, thanks for checking this video out, much appreciated. If you want to see more RC content, either relating to the hobby or mental health and the hobby, then please consider giving us a subscribe to the channel, clicking like, and hitting the notification bell as well so you don't miss anything. Okay, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you soon, and take care of yourselves. Bye.